is on the air with full coverage of the Auburn Tigers,
Touchdown Auburn!
the Alabama Crimson Tide,
Off to the inside, intercepted Alabama. Touchdown run.
and everything college and high school sports. Now, let's join Andy, Brett, Randy, and Luke for this edition of Sports Blitz Live.
Yeah, I'll be honest, Brett. I made it I didn't make it to the end. I was one of those that fell asleep, but I saw the box score in the morning. This morning, and like you said, that fourth inning, or what was it, third inning? We gave up 4 runs.
Right.
That was clearly. That was obviously the difference in the game. But look, we knew Coastal Carolina was a really good team coming into this. We knew Auburn was going to have to play their best to beat them. So, you got it. If you're Auburn, yeah, you fought back. Yeah, that's good. So talk me through the 10th inning, or what happened? You said they had chances.
Well, we did. We had 2 men on with no outs. there in the 10th inning and ended up hitting identical double plays, line drive shots to the second baseman, and a quick flip over to second for the double play out. And that's how the game ended. I mean, you were right there in position to win the game. Coastal Carolina's Caden Bodine really had a good night. Had 2 home runs last night, and the one in the top of the 10th was the difference. Broke a 6-6 tie. By the way, it was tied at 1:16 a.m. This morning, and when he hit that home run. So you head into the 10th, but again, 2 identical diving double plays. You couldn't have had them any more identical in the 9th and the 10th inning to end both innings. So again, balls hit on the nose. That's baseball, Andy. And again, I think what it proved is, Sam Dutton, the first home run he gave up was a 1-2 pitch, and you can't afford to make a mistake on a 1-2 pitch in a super regional. These teams, and Auburn made players pay last night. They made pitchers for Coastal Carolina pay. You got to be almost perfect on the mound, and we saw a bunch of comebacks yesterday. I turned the Oregon State game off. Oregon State was up or down 4-1 with 2 outs in the 9th inning, and I mean, pretty much, I think the guy had 2 strikes on him. I'm like, this thing's over, and I come back a few hours later and find out that Oregon State came back and won the dang game at extra innings. So I mean, again, these teams are where they are for a reason. They don't stop. They don't quit until the last out, and Auburn did that last night. Got down big, fought back, clawed back, and Snow hit a home run to tie the game, that electrified the crowd, and felt like Auburn had the momentum back. By the way, we were just shy of 7,900, 7,891 in attendance, which is again another record attendance for Auburn. Adding, seating everywhere on the right field, batting cage, and everywhere they can stick a chair somewhere for somebody to get there and watch the game. But it, Plaisman Park really has morphed into a unbelievable setting for college baseball, and Auburn's invested in that park and upgraded, the clubs and the seating and the experience, and they've bought into Butch Thompson. Butch Thompson's been loyal to Auburn. Auburn's going to get another shot at it here in just a few hours, Andy. They got to all turn around here and play again in less than, they'll be playing. They'll be back at the field here in a couple hours, getting ready to play at 2:00.
Well, like you said, you get to this level, it's often the little things that make the difference in the game. And, it's a 1-2 count that you got to go ahead and close the guy out. Like you said, you get a home run out of that. You can't allow that to happen. It's letting a guy go from, getting a stretch a single into a double or something like that. Something that you might think is innocuous in the middle of the game, but it turns out to be the winning run. But look, some of us have watched professional teams give up 7 runs in the 9th inning and lose. So it happens.
Are you referring to the Braves?
Not often, but you do have a lot of comebacks. And look, Auburn's right now, it's a 3-game series. Yeah. It was a 3-game series. So you're down 1, you got no choice. You got to win 2 in a row. That's the mindset. I don't guess they've announced who's going to start today yet.
Let's see. I'm not sure. I'm not sure they have, Andy. I was looking. I think everybody
as good as Alvarez was last week.
Yeah, you would think. He would probably get the nod. I'm not sure that it's going to be Christian Chatterton or Cam Tilley. Cam Tilley's been shaky, but you're going to have to turn around and face a guy that's 11-0 today for Coastal Carolina. But Auburn's 110 home series in a row. That's another thing that Coastal Carolina wins today. That'll break that streak for Auburn. There's a lot on the line. Backs against the wall, and that you find out what you're made of. There'll be some urgency. It'll be hot today. I thought the humidity got to both teams there. Of course, then it poured rain and kind of cooled everything off and kind of re-energized everything. But the ball was flying out of the park pretty rapidly yesterday, and you get that this time of year, really hot, and just one of those situations where one errant pitch can leave in a hurry. And Ike Irish hit a home run. He continues his maelstrom at the plate, and then you got all these guys are capable. I mean, up and down this lineup, it's probably one of the most talented lineups hitting that I've seen at Auburn in a long time. Andy, you and I've talked about it from time to time, but everybody on this team's deadly, and everybody can hit one out of the park. It seems like at any time, and that's the thing. That's what got us in the SEC tournament. Texas A&M hit 1 3-run blast. We hit 2 solos. It's all about getting guys on base and having that timely hit when you can. So Auburn's going to have to not get in a hole against one of the better pitchers coming in today in the country. And that's another thing. This is the hottest team in the country. Now 22 consecutive wins for Coastal Carolina. So we talked about it yesterday on the podcast and the show, Andy. Nobody for Coastal Carolina was scared to come into Auburn and play yesterday, and they proved it.
No, absolutely not. This team's won a national championship.
2016.
So, I mean, it hasn't been that long. Like I said, they're 52-11 now. They've won a lot of baseball games this year. And, one of the guys in the studio, actually, at ESPN, which is rare, but he made a good point. He said, this Auburn team is not, they don't have Ike Irish is probably the superstar. But even he does everything the right way. He's not real flashy, but they're just really, a solid baseball team up and down the pitching staff, up and down the lineup. They don't have a guy that's, hit 30 home runs. They just have a bunch of guys that have hit, 5 to 10 home runs or 5 to 15 home runs. They got pitchers that are not off the charts, but they're all good. They'll all keep you in a game and give you an opportunity to win. So you're going to count on some young guys, and more than likely one of those starting pitchers is going to be a pretty young guy here in the next in this game coming up. And it's win or go home, or win or stay home. So it's all hands on deck.
Jacob Morrison looks like he's probably going to get the nod, like I said today, for Coastal. He's 11-0, got a 2 ERA. Basically, just had a 1.9 ERA going into regionals.
That staff is good.
Yeah, I mean, then you got Riley Elkoff that's 6-2, and if that were to go to a third game, it'll probably the ball would be in his hand. So it's one of the best staffs, probably in the country, if not the best staff in the country. They got a pretty good closer that's got less than a 1 ERA. And Ryan Lynch that could come in. I mean, this is a team that when you look at it, they get it done on the mound. They obviously get it done at the plate. They can hit for power. They can do whatever they need to do. They battle. They just find ways to get it done. And so they know that they're one game away from going back to Omaha, and Auburn is one game away from extending this thing out to Sunday, and we all hope it does extend to Sunday. And we'll talk some more about the baseball game coming up. I'll try to see if we have a projected starter in the release from last night. It did not say, Andy, so don't have anything definitive there. But again, they'll be back in action at 2:00. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, Jason Caldwell tweeted something out last night. So what about the fans and the players and coaches have got to turn around in less than 12 hours to play another baseball game. It's a little bit, when you have a delay like that, when you already had a late start at 8 o'clock, man, that's asking a lot, especially when your season's on the line to turn around and have to play again in less than 12 hours.
Yeah, it does. I mean,
we're not playing in a slow pitch softball tournament, up the road.
True.
I mean, this is a super regional game that could determine whether somebody goes to the College World Series or not.
Well, honestly, it may be worse on the fans. I mean, these athletes are, as bad as
Right.
shape as you can possibly be. I'm sure they don't really mind going at it again, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, if you're, scheduling an 8 o'clock game, I don't know why you don't play at 8 o'clock again. Not that I'm upset. I'd rather not play on into midnight, but I don't know. Is it a disadvantage? Well, I mean, it affects both teams, so both teams got to deal with it.
True. I mean, again, I kind of, that's what I was saying, though. It's both teams got to deal with it. I just think maybe if you're going to adjust things for a delay, you were expecting the game to get over by about 10, not 2 o'clock in the morning. So just one of those situations where you might want to adjust, but, NCAA make a good decision. Come on, man.
Auburn have bad luck. Are you kidding?
No kidding. The NCAA, speaking of them, we'll talk about that here in just a minute. A pretty monumental piece of legislation or ruling was handed down by a judge yesterday, and that came out late yesterday. We'll talk about that. Pretty much opening things up to get ready for the payment directly to players from the institution. So we're going to go ahead and go to our first break. And since we got started a little bit late, and we'll be back here with more of the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR's Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air right after this.
Sportz Auto Sales, Highway 280 in Kellyton, Alabama is home-owned and home-operated. If you're looking for tires, they have it. If you're looking for a vehicle, they have them. Great selection. Always out looking for more just for you, the customer. And if you're looking for service, whether you buy the vehicle from them or whether you buy the vehicle somewhere else, they do service work and got a great crew there. Keep us in mind. Why don't you go by Sportz Auto Sales on Highway 280 in Kellyton today.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill and Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply is your headquarters for all the brands contractors know best. We're your local home improvement store with 9 convenient locations throughout Central Alabama. We have a huge selection of Weber and Traeger, Pelican coolers, Milwaukee and DeWalt tools, and other top brands. No matter the project, we have you covered with our high-quality lumber and building supplies. From do-it-yourselfers to seasoned pros, Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply has what you need to get the job done.
I'm Karen Chanel, your State Farm agent in Alexander City, Alabama, and the greater Lake Martin area. I want to talk to you a little bit today about your discounts. How many of you are entitled to discounts that you may or may not be receiving? One of the easiest discounts on your homeowner's insurance is that of having a fire extinguisher. Coupled with a deadbolt lock and a smoke alarm, that gives you an automatic discount on your homeowner's policy.
Ready for an unforgettable escape? Jump into adventure at Lake Martin, Alabama. From thrilling water sports to peaceful fishing spots, it's love at first bite every time you cast your line. Want more excitement? Catch an event with our vibrant festivals, concerts, and fishing tournaments all year long. And when the sun sets, dive downtown to discover local shops, delicious dining, and warm Southern hospitality. Explore Lake Martin, where every moment is an adventure waiting to happen.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
To the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Brett Pritchard and Andy Graham with Kramer standing behind him prominently there. What a cool portrait, man.
Oh, yeah. It was a gift.
He said, oh yeah. I can see him saying that. A classic there behind you, Andy. Did you take that out of the Louvre in France? I thought that was hanging up next to the Mona Lisa.
Yeah, well, I had stole it. Don't tell anybody. This was a bad choice to put this on the internet.
Yeah, I was going to say, the secret's out now. Everybody knows where to come find it. All right, so if you're just joining us, talked about Auburn a little bit. We'll go back. If you got some comments, if you stayed up to 2 a.m. and watched the game last night, it was a great baseball game. I mean, it really was. Didn't end well for Auburn. Ended kind of heartbreakingly. Thought Auburn was going to probably win that thing in exciting fashion, but second baseman for Coastal Carolina made two unbelievable plays in the ninth and the 10th inning to win. Now we shift over, talk about this NCAA settlement and the lawsuit that's been going on, and it's a milestone. Basically removed amateurization rules from major college sports. And if you want to just kind of get down to the brass tacks, and I'll read a little bit about this for everybody that may not know. So the NCAA will pay $2.8 billion in back damages over the next 10 years to athletes who competed in college at any time from 2016 through present day. All right, so moving forward, each school can pay its athletes up to a certain limit. The annual cap is expected to start at around $20.5 million, and then move up, increase every year during the decade-long deal. So this thing is supposed to go for at least 10 years. And the payments are in addition to scholarships and other benefits. So this is in addition, kind of like what we've been talking about. Like, we don't even talk about scholarships anymore, Andy. It's really not about – Randy and I talked about that yesterday. The academic side, we don't hear anybody talk about that side, and it's dead. I mean, and Randy was asking me, he's like, well, what is the rule now on this? I said – the rule's still in place about eligibility, but I said, I don't guess anybody gives a rip. Frankly, nobody cares. Nobody talks about it. And I said, who's going to enforce it? The NCAA, you just got another ruling against them. I mean, there's no governing body to hold anybody accountable. So seriously, who's keeping up with academic eligibility, and does anybody really care, to be honest with you?
No. The answer is, I think, the easy answer is no. I don't know. I mean, the conversation used to be, and we were having the conversation 15, 20 years ago. Well, these athletes need unlimited food. I mean, we were literally talking about, they don't, can you provide a meal for the athletes? And now, we've gotten to the point where we're talking about dividing up, starting at $20.5 million a year. Now, that you say that number, and that's a big number, but okay, so I'm thinking, so that means you can pay up to
20.
You don't have to pay that but you can pay up to. There's going to be a cap on it. So we're talking about every athlete on campus. You got to divide that 20.5 million.
You got to split it amongst all of them.
So, I mean, we're talking about raising it. You would think, okay, there's 85 football players, but we're talking about raising that to what, 100? We're talking about you got 40-something baseball players. You got 35 softball players.
Can you freely determine how the money gets divided up and who gets what?
So does everybody get an equal share? Do football get players?
Because like you said, Andy, $20.5 million is a big number, but it really ain't when you start
dividing it up.
Yeah, it goes pretty quickly. If you'll remember back in June of 21, the Supreme Court really kind of started all this when they ruled against NCAA, pretty much saying that college athletics should be treated less like an education-based endeavor and more like a lucrative entertainment industry. So that's what our Supreme Court decided, and they really kind of started the snowball, basically, of all these lawsuits. So thank you, United States Supreme Court, back in 2021 for going ahead and putting the final nail in the coffin of what we've all loved with college athletics. I mean, seriously, this has nothing to do with any of us on our program not thinking that athletes shouldn't be compensated. We all agree with that. We've all said that. We've all agreed with it. But this has been such a debacle and a disaster on how they've handled this. And I don't think anybody thought about the outcomes. And, I know the Supreme Court's supposed to look at it from, the law standpoint and what they feel like is legal and how you handle things from a business standpoint. But college athletics wasn't a straight business. Now, I know they've made it into a straight business now, but they weren't taking into effect anything that a kid was getting to go to school and basically not placing any relevancy or value on an education anymore for college athletes. Okay? I mean, I talked about that yesterday, Andy. I talked about how, average Joe college student gets a scholarship and all the things that they get and what they worry about versus what a student athlete worries about. And some of these guys getting all this NIL money. And if they don't finish school and they get out here in the real world and they don't go pro, what are they going to do? They can't maintain and sustain the lifestyle they lived in college. And we're hearing that from coaches. We're hearing that from directly out of the mouths of coaches that they're concerned that when majority of these kids, and remember, majority of them don't go on to play pro ball, get out here in the real world. They don't have a degree now. They haven't really been held accountable for anything. And they're trying to maintain a luxurious lifestyle that they can't maintain anymore.
It's a brave new world. I'm not sure, anybody truly knows, what's going to be the ramifications of this. We can all kind of speculate about it. Where does the sport go from here? But
where does the sport go from here, Andy? You and I talk about that all the time. And seriously, I know we feel like it's not just us here with our programs. It's everybody that talks about this nonstop all the time because you're forced to talk about this shit all the time because you don't have any other choice because it drives the sport now. It's all about and so how is this going to, in your opinion, how is this going to affect college athletics? Should we even call it college athletics anymore?
Well, I've been saying this for a while, that once you start paying them, then unions are not far behind, and then it's professional sports. I mean, it's pretty much already there, but that makes it official. And I think that we were talking during the break. Once you start making a salary, then I don't know how you avoid being officially called an employee and employer relationship. And once that happens, I mean, then you get unions, then you get collective bargaining, and then it's I mean, I don't even know why you're even faking that you have any kind of investment in education. That I mean, like you said, it's already to the point to where it's irrelevant, and guys can come in and play college basketball for a year and literally not even go to class. So that's just going to become. I think that's just going to become worse, and I'm not sure if we just don't divest the sport away from these universities in some way, because I mean, really, what's the point?
But then you bring in the fact of the separation of we all know the majority of this discussion revolves around football. And, you know, is it football that splits? Then the basketball players are going to be like, well, what about us? You know, we generate a lot of money too. And, you know, the NCAA tournament, what does that look like going forward? If the NCAA is out of this thing, is it called the NCAA tournament anymore? Now you're seeing all these other tournaments during the season pop up where, I mean, Auburn's about to be in the one in Las Vegas like Alabama was this past year. I mean, where the winning team gets, what they get, $1 million? You know, there's all kind of different things going on now that, like you said, used to, you couldn't even, you had to worry about buying somebody a dinner and worrying if you violated some rule. Now, I do agree that some of that stuff was a little bit absurd and a little bit over the top. But now we've swung the pendulum all the way to the other side where we have no barriers, no rules, no anything. You know, somebody was asking me the other day, said, well, what about, you know, you guys having somebody on the show? I'm like, well, who are you supposed to ask? I mean, everybody's out doing whatever they want to do, you know, anyway. Why can't they just jump on the show and talk? When, you know, it's just so much different, man, from every aspect. And then so if they do split away, Andy, if they get away from, you know, colleges and the football, why do we need another pro league is my question. We have a pro league. We have the NFL. Why do we need another pro league?
Good, fair question. We don't, in my opinion. That's, you know, for all the, now there's going to be a new generation of people, of kids. They grow up and this will be normal for them. And, you know, I'm guessing, or I don't know, maybe will they have the love coming up for college, you know, sports that we did, for the university as we did? No, probably not. So
it's going to be more of just waking up one day and choosing a team. It's going to be like the NFL. You know, it's just like, well, why do I pull for the Bucks? You know, why am I a Tampa Bay Bucks fan? And, you know, I just clung to the Tampa Bay Bucks even when they sucked back in the day. It's like, okay, you know, I was used to picking losers, right? So I just picked another loser. But it actually ended up working out because they ended up being pretty good, and they're a pretty good franchise now. And, you know, we had the best quarterback that's ever played the game for a while that played in Tampa. So he helped win us a Super Bowl. But it's really going to be wake up and who's got the star player. You're going to have kids attracted to a team based on a Cam Newton or a Bryce Young or, you know, a Justin Fields or whoever. You know, and you just wake up, you can be in Texas and be an Ohio State fan, or you can be in Idaho and be an Auburn fan. It's just, to me, it's going to be more like that.
Unfortunately. And, you know, this is what people thought they wanted, or this is what I guess the athletes wanted. So they're going to get it. And, you know, we'll say the NFL's wildly successful. And
well, it is, but it's a professional league.
It is. But I mean, people have been trying to have a successful pro league outside the NFL for a long, long time. We got
Well, let's be honest. The USFL, and I'm sorry, I don't want to be offensive to anybody that likes the Stallions and all, but that league sucks, man. Like, I love football, and you look, but I applaud them. But we've all said right before they've all failed. We've all said these leagues aren't going to make it. I don't know how this thing's still alive, man. You look in the stands and there's 10 people there.
Well, that's what I was going to say. This one is as successful as anyone has ever been, and I don't think there's but about 35 people that really watch it. So now you slap a Georgia or an Auburn or an Alabama tab on this, you're gonna have a built-in fan base, right? At least at the beginning. Yeah. But I don't know. It's not the same to me.
No, I know we got to get to break. We'll keep this discussion going. I just, again, that's what separated college sports and made it so fun. And again, it has nothing to do with not compensating the players. The players deserve to be compensated, but to the point where, and again, you can say, well, how can you control? You put a salary cap on things. You still can't control boosters for paying somebody under the table. I mean, that's what we wanted to get away from. You still have that now, but now it's, everything else is wide open for pay for play, and NIL never was used correctly. We'll come back. I'll talk about that. Get your thoughts on it too, Andy, after this break. Up against this break here on the Saturday Sports Countdown. Stay tuned. A lot more to come right after this.
Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center provides optimum care for the whole person. Dr. Dimo Popov specializes in the prevention and diagnosis of high blood pressure, kidney disease, diabetes, and acute and chronic conditions. Our weight loss clinic offers lipo shots and a guide to healthy weight loss. Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center, where lifestyle changes are made.
Hillary Towers may very well be the Lake Martin area's best kept secret. An affordable senior citizens community located on Highway 22 East in Alexander City. Spacious one-bedroom units are currently available. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today for more information on the newly renovated Hillary Towers, 256-329-0552. 256-329-0552. Hillary Towers, 22 East, Alexander City.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need. With top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindaiwa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that can tame any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill. And our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
At Central Alabama Community College, we provide a quality education that will set you up for success. Whether you're pursuing a degree or advancing your career with technical training, CAC offers premier programs at 4 campuses in Alexander City, Childersburg, Prattville, and Talladega. From industrial, electronics to machining, our students are prepared for the workforce or further education. At CAC, you'll enjoy vibrant campus life, exciting athletics, and personalized support, all at an affordable price. Your future starts here at CAC. Apply today.
Visit our new locations in Gadsden and Oxford today.
Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center provides optimum care for the whole person. Dr. Dimo Popov specializes
Eating. Yeah, I'm glad you're up with us this morning, Justin, after another kick to the groin last night. You can stay up till 2 o'clock, and you get rewarded with a line drive double play to end the game. Florida State officially has, I think, as bad a luck as us. Yeah, I'm starting to believe in everything. But going back to what we were talking about, Andy, and before we went to break, NIL was structured to be a avenue for players to go out and solicit businesses to make supplemental income. Because everybody was like, the previous rules didn't allow guys to have jobs, didn't allow them to promote. They were amateurs, blah, blah, blah. Well, the NIL ruling allowed them to be on the cover of a video game, Ed O'Bannon, which started all this, by the way, way back when. Some of the younger people watching don't know who Ed O'Bannon is, but that's where all this started from. But we all saw that deteriorate, like you said just a minute ago, in less than 5 minutes. NIL was supposed to allow you to go, Andy, and talk to Joe's Tire Shack and promote getting tires at their place, and they pay you to do that while you wore your Auburn shirt and all this kind of stuff, or your Auburn jersey or whatever. That ain't what happened. The colleges immediately used NIL to pay players to come or to entice players to come to their universities. I mean, I'll never forget, the Ohio State coaching staff was caught on camera, on a phone cam, with a kid making an official visit, and the guy just openly said, "Yeah, man, we got you set up on NIL right here. We're gonna get you paid." I mean, it was right there, and it was like, well, there it is. Cat's out of the bag. Here's the problem, Andy. There's no governing body to hold anybody accountable. It goes all the way back to the conversation we had 2 segments ago. Who's enforcing academic eligibility? Nobody. Who's enforcing the NIL rules? Nobody. Everybody's just out doing whatever they want to do. So they're establishing some sports commission through this, lawsuit that was just settled. But that's just how to handle the structure. They hired actually a former Major League Baseball executive. Boy, that's a route to go, since they've had such good luck with with integrity over the last 25, 30 years. I mean, but seriously, the NIL thing was abused right out of the gate. Right out of the gate.
Yeah, the idea of NIL is a good one. And that's one that I think was
the intentions were perfect.
That was the one that was universally backed. And I thought, because it was always kind of stupid that you had, an athlete that maybe was up for the Heisman. And, man, they had, their jersey was being sold, and their name was being profited on. And so that just made a lot of sense. And so, I think we all looked at that and said, the idea of NIL is actually really good. And how have we not done this? But this just goes to show you, every good idea doesn't mean that it's going to end up, being what you think it should be, or what it ought to be, or what it was designed to be. But because it like you said, and I mean, everybody, it's just so funny that it just takes, and it was like everybody pretended, it was like everybody had this tacit agreement. We'll just pretend that, yes, it's all about the guys profiting on their name, image, and likeness. But nobody actually used it for that. That's what's so fun. I mean, and we were all, everybody in college athletics was like, yeah, we're going to pretend. And nobody bought it, and everybody knew what was going on, but yet nobody says anything about it. Everybody's just like, no, that's just NIL. It's just, so this new ruling, you implement this, and you think, okay, well, this is going, and they've already said, well, the hope is that this will tamp things down, that this will put some structure to it, that this, now you've got, $20.5 million that you're going to give out, and so this is going to solve these problems. But guess what? It may solve a problem or two, but it's going to create about 100 more. And I don't know what they're going to be, but because there is no honesty. And there is no honesty, and until you look at it rationally.
Well, there never was any honesty, even back when we all complained and cried that certain teams were given passes and other teams were getting hammered, which that was happening, by the way. The NCAA, that again, another reason why everybody hates the NCAA is because every fan base thinks their team's been screwed at some point by the NCAA, some more than others. But the NCAA never had any fans to begin with because of all that. People were frustrated. So then the NCAA, when they started to actually try to govern correctly and try to do some things, they lost every court case known to man. So then they just folded and said, okay, we just won't do anything. We're just going to open the gates to the prison and just let everybody out and let everybody go free into society, and y'all just go do whatever the hell you want to do. And that's exactly what we're doing right now. We have no governing body over literally one of the largest businesses, sports businesses in the world in college athletics, a multi-billion-dollar industry that nobody's driving the wheel of the bus. I mean, literally, we're on, what's that movie with Keanu Reeves, Speed? You're on the bus, and if you let it go below 55 miles an hour, it's going to blow up. But the dadgum thing's going to hit something at some point in time anyway, so you're going to die one way or the other. I mean, that to me is what it looks like. That's what college athletics looks like to me.
And now a woman named Claudia Wilkin, who admittedly knows nothing about sports, had to be explained about the differences in the conferences and how that works, is now deciding the fate of college athletics.
Has decided
the fate of college athletics. That's where we are. That's America, baby.
Yeah, no clue on what the heck's going on, but I'm gonna make a ruling on something that I don't know anything about. I mean, it's unbelievable, man. I don't know how we got here. I really don't, man. I really don't know how we arrived in a situation where we have no rules. I mean, and look, people can say what they want to. Everybody was kicking around Nick Saban and being the new commissioner or whatever. How quickly did he get away from that? How quickly did he say, man, I ain't dealing with this? Because you start seeing guys like him and other people go, I can't control this. There's nothing I can do about this. Even with the amount of clout and stature I have in the sport, there's nothing I can do. I don't even know how to handle this. I don't even know how to reel all of this in. So you're starting to see people that their names were getting kicked around as possibly being leaders. I was on Gary Harris's show the other day, Andy, and it was like he changed his tune completely. As Gary said, Saban was talking, his language was, going more and more toward maybe he would accept that, all the way to after the golf tournament. He's like, I don't really have any comment on that anymore. He was going to be a commission, with Trump, and Trump was going to probably name him. It kind of looked like he was leading in that direction. Then all of a sudden he did a 180 and it's like, well, I don't really know anything about that, and I'm not really interested in that. And I think he probably went home and Terry said, don't do that. Don't do that, because you got out of this sport for a reason. You should still be coaching, but you were disgusted with how everything was going. So now you're going to go lead the whole thing? Probably don't need to do that. So I think they had a conversation which ended that whole deal, but I don't know who you go get to lead this thing. I don't know anybody with any sense that would want to take the job. And no offense out here, it's almost like taking like a political job, that doesn't pay very well. But then you get to incorporate all the problems of the city on your back, and you go, why the hell would I want that job? Somebody with a brain wouldn't want to put themselves in that position.
Well, I mean, people want to compare it to Roger Goodell. I mean, he's got 32 teams. I mean, we're talking about 100.
And they got a bunch of rules in place, Andy. It's not really that hard.
It's he's got antitrust legislation. I mean, so this is completely different. This is trying to go into the desert and, put in a water fountain. I mean, I don't know I have no clue how you even go about trying to do it.
That's why you see people like Nick Saban have just all of a sudden said, look, I ain't touching that, man. I appreciate the faith in me, but I'm not doing it. So, all right, we're up against another break. Everybody stay tuned. More to come here on the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense. Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes that are installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters.
Better buildings,
better prices,
better buildings of Columbus.
I'm Joseph Dean with Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation in Dadeville. We're located at 16797 Highway 280, which is on the corner of 280 and 49 North. With an on-site crematory in Opelika and a cemetery in Tallapoosa County, we are a full-service funeral home. To get in touch with us, feel free to come by or call us, 256-750-0381. For any other questions, you can visit the website at lakemartinfuneralhome.com.
There's only one clear choice in the Lake Martin area for plumbing, heating, and air. That's All Clear Plumbing and Air. Our professionally trained technicians offer full service repair and installation on all major brands. From drips to water heaters, thermostats to entire air conditioning and heating systems, and everything in between. Our fast, reliable, and guaranteed top-notch customer service will keep you informed and up to speed through the entire process. Call us today or look for us on Facebook and Instagram at All Clear Plumbing and Air, 256-496-2056. License number 19172.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Been doing this show for over 20 years, and we appreciate all of you out there so much for allowing us to do this show and being part of this show. And again, boy, 20 years goes by in a blink of the eye, man. It does. Andy, I remember when you and I were 21, and now I have a son that's 21. I just, and you know, our good friend at Auburn, Kirk Sampson, who's the associate AD down there and has been over sports information for so long, his son turned 21 yesterday. So I talked to him a little bit. I said, I remember when you and I were at Auburn together, and you had just gotten hired, and I was 21 working in your department, and now our kids are 21. I'm like, where did that time go? So, man,
well, I had my 30th high school reunion last year. I'm sure you're having yours this year, right? So,
well, if people
that's an experience.
Yeah, when you've been out of high school for 30 years, when you have been out of high school 30 years, you're old.
Yeah,
I mean, there ain't no other way to spend that, man. That's just the way it is. And it's funny with time, you look back and go, well, man, I remember that. That was just a few years ago. And somebody goes, no, that was like 16 years ago. Like Randy was talking about the drought around here And
I heard that.
Did you hear? I mean, he said, I just about 4 or 5 years ago. I said, try about 20.
Yeah.
It was 18, actually, I believe. And he's like, there ain't no way it was 20. I said, I'm telling you, it was right at 20 years ago. And we looked it up, and it was 18. He's like, my God. I said, yeah, our 4 or 5 years turned into 2 decades. So
yeah. Lots of lessons from that, though. You look back, I mean, the top banners, it's going to take 20 years for this to actually get back to normal.
You're talking about
the next, yeah. It's back to normal like the next year.
About 3 rains, and we were right back to. All right, so just said, what does the NCAA do for D1 football now? Surely they're getting reduced compensation. I mean,
surely they're getting what?
Surely they're getting reduced compensation. What does the NCAA do for D1 football? I mean, I don't know what to do. What does the NCAA do for anybody now? What power do they have to do anything? So, okay, I guess the next thing, we'll head to the top of the hour break. At what point in time does the NCAA dissolve? Now, the only thing that holds them together right now is that basketball tournament. By the way, let's screw that up some more and get up to 78 teams, which they're proposing now. 78 teams.
Yeah.
78 teams.
It's like, I mean, it's essentially like adding, how many, 12 more play-in games? 10 more play-in.
Yeah, who's watching that anyway?
Yeah, those are ridiculous. I mean, what's the point?
Just to say you made the tournament?
I mean,
does anybody really consider that a tournament anyway?
Does that really add that much more dollars to the whole mix?
I wouldn't think so.
Who cares? I mean,
and that to me is less interesting than a bowl game. I mean, and that's pretty far down the totem pole now. I mean, let's be honest about it. Does anybody care about a bowl game anymore? I've been telling that to y'all for years. Y'all like, well, the bowl game, I'll watch. I'm like, I ain't watching any of it. I don't care. It's like Lane Kiffin said, and Hugh Freeze said just a few weeks ago, if you ain't making the playoffs, man, the season's considered an L. I mean, it doesn't matter what your record is. If you don't make the playoffs, pretty much in everybody's eyes, it's like, well, that season sucked. I mean, even if you're 9-3. And so it's playoff or bust now because that's what we've established. Am I wrong?
No, that's pretty much about right.
So what does it matter about going to a bowl game? Everybody's opting out anyway. I mean, why even have the dang things? And I hear about, oh, well, as long as somebody's willing to pay and all. Well, you're an idiot. If you're putting your logo on the CarQuest Bowl down in whatever that happens on December the 18th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Well, now, Brad, you're an advertising guy. Come on now. If you can get on national television.
But I'm saying I think that's coming to an end is what I'm saying. I think these companies are like, that was a good idea at one point in time, but it ain't a good idea anymore. So I think you're going to start seeing some of these companies say, how can I put my money into the playoffs? How can I get a smaller package into the playoffs? I'm not going to tag my company to some bowl game in Shreveport, Louisiana on December 18th at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Ain't nobody showing up for it, and ain't nobody watching it. It's like the USFL. We all go, ooh, football. We'll watch football. Hey, we just a football fan. Well, I am a football fan. I hadn't watched a second of that and ain't planning on it. So I
will watch the bowl games because I may be the only one, but I do because it's the time of year. There's nothing else going on. You're out because of it's Christmas time. So I will watch bowl games, and I think a lot of people do. It's because it's college football.
It's dying.
It may be, there's too many. I mean, there's 50 bowl games every year. There's no need for that. I mean, whittle it down to have the decent matchups. And like I said, I mean, rebrand it so that, like, say, okay, well, you can only play freshmen and sophomores. And let the young guys play in these games and the future of these teams. Do something different.
No, I mean, I agree. If you want to go back and tweak the rules and who can play and do all that kind of stuff, I'd be great with that. But when you take let's quit pretending that the what do they call it, the New Year's Six or whatever. Let's quit pretending that the game that's not involved in the playoff matters. Because I tried to do that a few years ago, and y'all know I did, and y'all all laughed at me and said, "You're going over there, Auburn don't care, and they're going to get beat by Central." I'm like, "Nah, man, we had a great season, and we're going to go over there and prove something." They didn't want to be there. Andy, they partied the whole weekend. They didn't want to be there. I froze to death getting to the stadium. It was literally 10 degrees in Atlanta, and the wind was blowing like 30 miles an hour. And we get in there, and Auburn was like, "Are we playing today?" And Central Florida on the other sideline was like, "This is our Super Bowl." So they were all out. And so when you put two teams together,
they won the national championship.
According to them, they did. And it felt like they did when we were leaving the stadium. But the bottom line is the Georgia-Florida State game the other year. Florida State's whole team left. So and Georgia beat them unmercifully. And it's like, well, what was the point of that? There was no point in it at all. So, and that's caused people to say, well, what about all these opt-outs and stuff? And if you have a team, hell, LSU had a team a few years ago that had 30 players opt out. They barely had enough to travel to put on the field. So it's like the bowl games suck, man. They were good at one time. They suck now. There ain't no way you can convince me otherwise. I tried to carry the banner for the team back in 2017 when we went to the Peach Bowl and I had pie in the face. And I said, that's it. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not going to try to pretend that these bowl games matter. And they don't.
They don't. Anything outside the playoff, it's irrelevant. I mean, other if you want to say practice for next year, every coach loves that. But that's why I say let the young kids play. But I don't know. I mean.
Well, let me get to this top of the hour break that we're 2 minutes late getting to, and then we'll come back and continue this intelligent discussion on how college football should be run moving forward. Stay tuned. 1 hour left here on the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Main Street Family Care offers a wide array of services that allows them to treat many conditions, and they also offer primary care. In addition to these services, they also offer DOT physical exams, lab testing, sports physicals, and vaccines. They accept most major insurance plans, including Medicaid. Main Street Family Care opens 7 days a week.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union, is looking for the next hometown hero. Hometown heroes could be first responders, public service workers, community leaders, pastors, community volunteers, or anyone who is making a difference in your hometown. Submit your nominations now online at myhscu.com. And if your nominee is selected, they will get a $100 Visa cash card and a certificate of appreciation from Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union, federally insured by the NCUA.
Hillary Towers may very well be the Lake Martin area's best kept secret. An affordable senior citizens community located on Highway 22 East in Alexander City. Spacious one-bedroom units are currently available. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today for more information on the newly renovated Hillary Towers, 256-329-0552. 256-329-0552. Hillary Towers, 22 East, Alexander City.
Red Flag Pest Control is Central Alabama's best in pest control with hometown service in Lake Martin and now the greater Montgomery area. When you see pests, throw down the red flag. Termites, bed bugs, carpenter bees, mosquitoes, or general pests. Red Flag gets the job done at the right price for your home or business. At Lake Martin, call 888-943-0353 or in Montgomery, 334-265-1831. Red Flag, the best in pest control in Central Alabama.
If you listen carefully, you'll hear the roads of Alabama calling. And Sarah Honda has your answer. Serving you for over 40 years with one of the largest Honda and pre-owned inventories in the state and the Sarah Promise. Our best deal when you buy or trade, a 72-hour exchange policy, a no-hassle trade-in promise. Written offers are good for 7 days. And our best service promise. Our factory-certified technicians help keep your vehicle running smoothly. That's why Alabama can be yours to discover in a new vehicle from Sarah Honda in Sylacauga.
Going to the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill in Sunshine Heating and Air. Going into the taking you to the 9 o'clock hour. We're here in hour number 2, and majority of the first hour was consumed with all of this College Sports Commission stuff and the ruling by the courts that allows a $20.5 million cap to be able to pay directly from the colleges to the players now, and that will increase, Andy, all the way over the next up every year for the next 10 years.
That's what they say. How does that? Who determines? I mean, every college, I guess, determines who gets what and how you divide it up and what the pie looks like. There's a lot of athletes on campus, and they're all entitled to it. So. Do you have a baseline?
All right, so let me read this part to you. This is kind of the comical part that we all laughed about. Like you just broke this down a minute ago talking about the collectives. So in 2021 was when it was ruled, the college athletes could make money from third parties via the NIL, name, image, and likeness. Then boosters jumped in, organized groups called collectives. They used the NIL money as de facto salaries for their teams. In some cases, paying up to millions of dollars for top-rated basketball and football players. Now that money can come straight from the athletic departments. So basically all this did was just eliminate the collective.
Well, maybe the collectives will be the difference now. If you got a cap and, Alabama and Georgia and Auburn are fighting for a player, then the collective's still going to be the cherry on top that maybe breaks the tie. It's still going to be under the table. I mean, it doesn't matter how much they get paid. There's still going to be that, what's going to be the difference in going to school A or school B? It's going to be some incentive probably under the table.
How stupid is Charlie Baker, the NCAA president? Can I read this to you?
Can I say who?
Yeah. All right, so Charlie Baker believes this deal will help schools regain control and tamp down the skyrocketing, largely unregulated market for paying college players through third parties. Is he an idiot?
Well, like I say,
I mean, that whole statement's stupid. Like, he thinks that's going to help, regain control? It's the furthest thing from regaining control. I mean, you can't – I mean, like you said, you're going to still have the other things in place to add money, under the table, if you want to say it's under the table or whatever. I mean, it's the furthest thing from that.
Unintended consequences. That's what we always talk about. Don't know what they will be because that's literally in the title. They are unintended.
But another point that you brought up that has got to happen. It has to happen because this is what happens in the NFL. Salary caps and free agency restrictions are part of professional sports, and are legal because they are negotiated as part of collective bargaining with a union. And that's the only way to reel this in, Andy, is when you have a court where the Supreme Court decides that this is a professional sports league now, and it's got to be regulated in some form or fashion, you're going to have to – look, and I said this yesterday, if I'm a player, I want a contract. If I'm a university, I want a contract now, because if I'm the university, I want to know that he's signing a 3-year deal, right? with consequences if he wants to go somewhere else. If I'm a player, I want to know I'm signing a contract and that university is going to live up to what they said they're going to do. Because right now, all we're hearing, and I'm hearing this out of the mouths of coaches, and you can speculate who I heard it from, that there are other coaches out there just completely lying to players and telling them this, and when they get them on campus, it becomes something else. And they're like, well, things change and all that. If I'm a player and this coach said, if you come here, you're going to get X, well, I want that on paper. Because if it's not on paper and I get to that university, they can do exactly what I just said. They can say, well, we've had a change in some things and we didn't get as much money as we thought. You can spin it however you want to spin it. But they're basically lying to them. And so some of these coaches have been calling these other coaches and saying, why are you telling these guys this? And they go, we got to. We have no choice. We have to tell them this to get them here. So I kind of gave a PSA yesterday to some of the, not that any players were watching, but just a PSA that said, hey, man, be mindful of what people tell you. You know, even though they're a paid administrator or a coach at a college, just because they tell you something doesn't necessarily mean it's got to happen.
And contracts work both ways.
That's why I'm saying.
It protects both parties. I mean, we're not talking about a one-way street here. So,
no. I
mean, you get a player to sign a 2-year deal or a 3-year deal, you know, and that way, and there's got to be some teeth to it. I mean, we got to quit well, this guy broke the contract. Well, you know, we make a big fuss about it, but nobody gets penalized. You got to hold these people accountable. For a coach, if he breaks a contract, then you make him pay the buyout. If a player breaks the contract,
right,
you make them pay a buyout or whatever.
That's why I said if I'm a player or a university, I want a contract on both sides. The university, you know, you got the guy, you ain't got to chase him every 7 months, and when the portal opens, you got his signature on the paper. If he wants to leave, there's consequences to leaving early. Okay. On the flip side, if I'm the player, I'm getting what the university told me I was going to get.
Yeah.
And it's there on paper, and there's no argument with it. All right, we're up against another break here on the program. Stay tuned. More to come here on the Saturday Sports Countdown.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
At Central Alabama Community College, we provide a quality education that will set you up for success. Whether you're pursuing a degree or advancing your career with technical training, CAC offers premier programs at 4 campuses in Alexander City, Childersburg, Prattville, and Talladega. From industrial, electronics to machining, our students are prepared for the workforce or further education. At CAC, you'll enjoy vibrant campus life, exciting athletics, and personalized support, all at an affordable price. Your future starts here at CAC. Apply today.
Glory's Furniture Express, your expressway to savings. Come on, get on board. Glory's Furniture saves you more. We try harder in every way, so drive a little and save today. Glory's Furniture Express, your expressway to savings.
Ready for an unforgettable escape? Jump into adventure at Lake Martin, Alabama. From thrilling water sports to peaceful fishing spots, it's love at first bite every time you cast your line. Want more excitement? Catch an event with our vibrant festivals, concerts, and fishing tournaments all year long. And when the sun sets, Dive downtown to discover local shops, delicious dining, and warm Southern hospitality. Explore Lake Martin, where every moment is an adventure waiting to happen.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. About 40 minutes left in the show today. Shifting out, if you got some more comments or anything about the collective and the ruling that came down yesterday, by all means. I mean, but I know we got some more people that have jumped in and watching online for sure. But it was pretty monumental. But yesterday we started the show talking about the baseball game that played into the morning this morning with Auburn and Coastal Carolina at 2. It ended around 2 o'clock. They're going to turn around and play again at 2 o'clock here in just a few hours. Coastal Carolina winning that game in extra innings. It was a crazy ending to that game. Auburn had 2 men on with no outs and then ended up hitting into an game-ending double play, a line drive that, was a diving play. Andy, is a great play by the second baseman for Coastal Carolina. But, Auburn got themselves in a hole, had to battle back the whole game, fought back, tied it up on an Eric Snow home run there in the 9th inning. And then it comes back and or in the 8th inning, and then it comes back and tied in the 9th, and then you go back and Coastal Carolina wins it with a solo home run in the 10th. So a crazy game. There were some crazy games yesterday. Oregon State was down 4-1 with 2 outs at their place, and come back and win the game 5-4 in 10 innings. They tied it up there in the 9th. So it's never say never, but North Carolina didn't have a problem with Arizona yesterday, 18-2.
Yeah. Man, North Carolina is really, really good. The winner of, obviously, the Auburn Coastal Carolina will open with, I would assume, North Carolina. They look like they're going to take care of it. They may not, but we'll see.
Well, it's a new day. Again, I remember we went up to North Carolina and handed them a pretty bad loss. And we ended up winning that super regional a few years ago. I think it was
that the one we scored like 10 runs in the first inning?
Yeah, like it was a blowout, dude.
That was crazy.
I think, what did we beat them, like 18-4 or something? 6?
Something.
It was, anyway, they took one too. All right, Murray State and Duke will get started today. And then Tennessee and Arkansas. So, the SEC will get at least one team in the College World Series. The max they can get is 3. If LSU were to win their series, which starts today against West Virginia, and if Auburn were to come back and beat Coastal Carolina, you could get up to 3 teams in the College World Series. Kind of your thoughts on this? Everybody's kind of taking shots once again. 13 teams in the tournament. We're down to 4 SEC teams. It's hard to argue, man. You gotta come through in postseason, and the SEC could be down to 1 team technically that can make the College World Series after having a record-breaking number of teams enter postseason play for the first time.
Well, I mean, I looked at
kind of like basketball,
Yeah, I mean, after watching a pretty good bit of the regular season, I mean, I thought that many teams deserved to be in it, in the tournament. Why were they not able to capitalize on it? I mean, you think about it, Alabama was good, but, they were in a, playing some pretty good teams in their regional. Florida was not very good at the beginning of the year, had gotten much better and kind of squeaked their way in. So it's not a surprise that they got knocked out. But baseball is a funny sport. I mean, being the tournament set up the way it is, you earn your way in, to the super regionals, and you earn your way out. So the teams that moved on are the ones that are playing the best at the right time.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, again, I think the people that want to take shots at ACC say maybe everybody beating up on each other, whatever. Maybe it's not as tough as everybody makes it out to be. And I disagree with that statement. I mean, obviously the players and the results are there, and I don't think any other conference can claim the number of teams that we have that are substantially better than the other teams in those conferences. But you gotta come through in postseason, I guess, is if you were sitting here looking at 7 teams still alive, half of your group that got in, or maybe just 6, but instead, you're down to 4. And that's just the way it is. I mean, that doesn't mean that there aren't good teams. Another thing about baseball is you get teams like Murray State, you get teams like Coastal Carolina, you get teams like Texas San Antonio. You saw like Stetson, how good they were in our regional. They'd won 40 games. That's baseball, man. You get a couple really good pitchers, you can run them out there against anybody.
Yeah, that's the biggest surprise. Vandy and Texas. That
was disappointing.
That's the biggest surprise. Texas was really good. Now Auburn took 2 or 3 from Vandy. They got swept out in Austin. And a lot of the games weren't that close. I think 2 or 3. So Texas was really good. I was very surprised that they got knocked out.
How about not print cleats with Omaha on them when you're in the regional? Again, bad juju, comes back to get you. And so I'm assuming all those went in the trash as soon as they lost their regional. So, but I told everybody this the other day on the podcast. I think Arkansas is the best team in the country. We'll see. They host Tennessee. Tennessee's the defending national champs, and they kind of hit a skid in SEC play coming down the stretch. But, that's another team I don't think anybody would want to play. But Arkansas, I think, maybe top to bottom is the most complete team, maybe outside of Coastal Carolina. Again, hard to argue with a team that's won 22 games in a row and figures out ways to go get it done. And then they came into Plainsman Park where Auburn had a 28-6 record and had won 10 consecutive home series and just said, I'm going to come in here and take his first game.
Yeah, and played well. That Dutton had been Auburn's ace pretty much all year. He was the guy that you wanted to roll out there in that first game, and he had a bad inning. He pitched pretty well.
Well, you can't give up a 1-2 home run.
No.
You just can't make that mistake. I don't know if it's the humidity, and I had somebody saying it didn't look like he was gripping the ball right, and it didn't look like it was coming out of his hand, maybe losing control. And that happens, man. I mean, again,
he looked like he was struggling a little bit. I mean, he was soaking wet.
Well, and let's be honest, Fluky was struggling with control. For Coastal Carolina, they were able to get out of it, but Auburn had its chances early in the game to put more runs on the board than they did. But Fluky was struggling with his control. I mean, the guy had only walked like 12 batters all year, man.
I was going to say, he walked 3 against Auburn in 4 innings.
Right. So, kind of is what it is on that. But I think you look at it, now you're going to be facing a guy, like I said, that's 11-0 today. And, who's Auburn going to put out there? It hasn't been released, or I haven't seen it yet. If anybody knows, please let me know, or let Andy know, or whoever. But I would assume, who are you thinking, Andy? I don't think it's going to be Cam Tilly.
No, I would guess it would.
Think it might be Chatterton?
I would guess it'll either be Chatterton, perhaps Alvarez, but That I would guess maybe Chatterton. He's been pretty good all year. I mean, he is a true freshman, but I mean, he's been one of your better pitchers all year long. So
at this point, you got to go with who you feel like is going to give you the best outing. You're not really a freshman anymore at this point.
That's true. And if he struggles, you probably throw Cam Tilley out there.
Well, today you can't worry about game 3 until you get to it. Right. You have to exhaust all your efforts to get to that point. Okay, we're going to be up against an extended break on TV here. We got to catch up because of the start. So everybody stay tuned. More to come here on the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Alex City and west side of the lake. It's time to celebrate because the all-new Lake Martin Pizza is open with the area's best pizza, and it's just down Highway 63 South in our town. Lake Martin Pizza of Highway 63 has a huge outdoor seating area with enclosed heated comfort, a full bar with cold beer, wine, and full spirit selection with family ownership and fun for the whole family. Dine in or pick up. It's just a short drive to our town and is hands down the area's best pizza. Like us on Facebook to see upcoming live entertainment and watch sports on our 360 wraparound TVs. Rejoice! Lake Martin Pizza on Highway 63 is ready for you.
I'm Joseph Dean with Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation in Dadeville. We're located at 16797 Highway 280, which is on the corner of 280 and 49 North. With an on-site crematory in Opelika and a cemetery in Tallapoosa County, we are a full-service funeral home. To get in touch with us, feel free to come by or call us, 256-750-0381. And for any other questions, you can visit the website at lakemartinfuneralhome.com.
This spring and summer, make your land, farming, lawn, and landscaping needs have zero risk and 100% success with Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor, with 0% financing on all our Mahindra tractors, many with up to 84-month terms. Our inventory of Mahindra tractors and farm implements is beefed up, and more are coming in daily. We also have extended 0% terms on Spartan mowers to handle your mowing needs with the best and zero-turn mowers priced to move. At Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor, your authorized Mahindra and Spartan dealer.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Visit our new locations in Gadsden and Oxford today.
Thunderbolt Lightfoot at Oscar's Cafe on Highway 49 South in Dadeville, Alabama is looking to see you today. Now, let me tell you, they got great food. They've always had great food all these years. Now, they still got that atmosphere. They still got that service. They still cater. Let me stop right there. 15 to 415 they can handle. So give them a call today at Oscar's, Highway 49 South in Dadeville. 256-825-4827.
Illinois Towers may very well be the Lake Martin area's best kept secret.
Better buildings,
better prices,
better buildings of Columbus.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Inspired by the bold bison, Southern Union students blaze new trails every single day. They press forward knowing their SU education will lead them to success. Affordable, accessible, and locally unparalleled. Whether you're transitioning to a university or launching straight into a lucrative career, a degree from SU SDC can help you blaze your path. 3 locations, dedicated faculty and staff, endless possibilities. It's all waiting for you at Southern Union. It's time to venture forward. Register today.
2025 RVs are here. Be the first to see the latest and greatest from your favorite manufacturers and lock in special show pricing at your local Camping World. '25 RVs are here. Be the first to see the latest and greatest from your favorite manufacturers and lock in special show pricing at your local Camping World.
I'm not.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Just got a couple more segments left in the show today. We appreciate all of you that have tuned in online, YouTube, and Facebook. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel for Auburn Blitz, please do that. If you haven't, please go out there and find that and do that. To those of you that have, we really appreciate it very much. And again, love doing the podcast every morning at 8 o'clock. And again, we continue on with our Auburn Blitz show like we've been doing, Andy, for years now at noon every day. And glad to have, obviously Jim involved, and glad to have Faith on board with us now in her role. And again, just continuing to add to what we're trying to do here on the Auburn Blitz and expand everything we do. But we appreciate it. Fastly approaching 8,000 subscribers on YouTube, man. So we can't say thank you enough, and really, really appreciate all of you out there spreading the word. All right, some guys on campus this weekend, some official visitors. Again, in the ever-changing landscape of college athletics, Andy, you're getting all these OVs that happen in May and June now. And then we've got a bunch of announcement dates coming up in the first week of July. I know we've talked about them on here, but there's a boatload of them. We got one here. We got one here coming up with Sedarian on July the 2nd in Alex City. He's actually in Florida this weekend, was at Georgia last weekend. He's in Florida this weekend. He'll be coming to Auburn very, very soon. But this weekend, some of the top guys on campus, and it's hard not to start with the number 2 offensive lineman in the country, Emmanuel Iheanacho from Baltimore, Maryland. And Jason was on our show a few weeks ago, and he said, man, this guy's just a big man. He's not a fat, flabby 6'6", 6'7", 345, 350-pound guy. He is muscle. He is lean. He's just I guess reminds you of like a Greg Robinson or somebody like that. It's lean. It's a big guy, but it's very, very lean. Just one of those situations where just getting an OV from him is huge. And he's very interested in Auburn. His top school right now is Oregon. But, I mean, for the most part, Andy, he's a guy you're glad to have on campus.
Yeah, I mean, any offensive tackle, major big-time offensive tackle, Auburn has struggled with that. We talked about it ad nauseum. You got to get those guys, and you got to get, you got to start landing a couple of those guys, because that's how you build an offense. That's the anchor. That's the foundation, that big left tackle. So go out and find those guys. And the only way to get those guys, the only way to land those guys is to get them on campus and start to, recruit them, as hard as you can. So Oregon, that'll be tough, but what are we up against? Are we talking about unlimited NIL? That's basically what they have thrown out there. So, and what is the deal? I mean, what is it? Is it Durkin? What is the deal with Auburn's pipeline to Maryland all of a sudden?
Man, Auburn's got, well, the St. Francis Academy, there's, we got Wayne Henry here, and then you got some other guys that, that are going to be, and then Blake Woodby. I mean, Wayne Henry's committed, but he ain't signed, but Blake Woodby's on the team. And then you got Jair Edwards, who's also one of the top safeties in the country. He's there. I mean, when you start to get a little bit of a connection, and then speaking of that, Andy, you got Claude, is it Impuma, I believe, is how you pronounce it. It may be just Claude Puma and the M silent, but another big offensive tackle, 6'7", 308. He's got a tie with Coach King Williams. So he comes from Chicago, but again, when you look at ties and how you get guys from different places, relationships matter and comfortability matters. So there's another opportunity. Auburn's high on his list, and Auburn really, really likes this kid. So you got two really top offensive tackle prospects on your board in here together this weekend.
That's huge. Again,
no pun intended with these two guys, by the way.
Yeah, really. Well, the bigger the better. No, that's not always the case, but you gotta have some size out there. That's obviously prototypical. Sounds like size. So Auburn's missed out on so many of these over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
If you could land just one of them, it could go a long way.
Yeah. I think Auburn would be happy with either one of these guys. Obviously, I think, man, when you look at Nacho, dude, he's a once in a every so many decades looking guy, man. That guy's he looks different. Alabama commit on campus, Nolan Wilson, defensive lineman. Here's the tie, former teammate of Jamonte Waller. So Jamonte Waller would be hosting him this weekend. So again, could Auburn have a impact on Nolan Wilson? We'll see. But having a former teammate on the team and being able to talk there, it's kind of like with Vodney Cleveland a couple of weeks ago with Jordan Crawford. And, we went and sat down. Faith pushed that interview out yesterday, by the way, for everybody to go watch. If you haven't watched it, the YouTube channel, he talked about that and, being able to go to, and talk to him directly and see what his experience is, has been at Auburn and having that connection and, makes a big difference. And, his face kind of lit up when he talked about Jordan and how much fun Jordan is having at Auburn, how much he's transformed, Andy. So, again, when you get a teammate like that can host you, and again, maybe Jamonte Waller can do a little swaying on Nolan Wilson this weekend.
Waller's kind of one of those forgotten guys. Got hurt last year and was.
I think he's going to be a massive addition this year.
Huge. I mean, he's got probably one of the guys that's got the highest probability of coming back and that you've kind of forgotten about. So hopefully he comes in and hopefully he brings that teammate with him.
Yeah, exactly. Another kid that's right up the road, and this high school has been putting out some really good talent here lately. The last several years, Auburn was able to get Joe Phillips from Booker T. Washington High School. and now they're targeting one of the top receivers in the country, one of the top receivers in the state, in Marquez Daniel. It's down to Auburn and Florida, Andy, on his decision there, and he'll be making the decision. He told us Faith sat down with him a few weeks ago, and he'll be making that decision, I think, on July the 5th. So we'll see how that plays out. But just seems like Auburn, I said this yesterday on the show, Auburn's in a battle with Florida on a lot of guys. You see it's Auburn and Florida for this kid, or Auburn, Florida for that kid. And, I think, Randy was talking about how very similar situations for Auburn and Florida. Both teams really need to win this year. And so I think a lot of these kids are very interested in those schools, but they got to see some results on the field for both of them. Yeah.
You mentioned those two receivers, same thing as with the tackles. You get a Cedarian Morgan, you get the other kid. You got to get one of them. You may not get both of them, but try to get one of them. That's how Hugh Freeze has been talking about increasing the talent of the roster for 2 years now, and saying one more recruiting class, and then we'll be where we want to be. Well, bring in that top tier talent, and then there's no more excuses.
Yeah, and another top receiver in this weekend. Marcus Davis continues to do a really good job of building relationships, and Auburn has maybe the second best wide receiver room in the country, maybe next to Ohio State's. I saw a graphic, and I think I've got it still pulled up, Andy. You go see who pushed this out. The PFF pushed this out, top 5 receiver rooms in the country: Ohio State, Auburn, Clemson, Ole Miss, and Alabama, in that order. And you got Eric Singleton added to an already talented wide receiver room for Auburn. And, of course, we know what Jeremiah Smith and Ohio State has, and, of course, Ryan Williams down at Alabama. But you look at it from a standpoint of Auburn continuing to stockpile wide receivers. You got Cedarian Morgan's going to be coming in next weekend at Auburn, which is a massive target, the number 1 player in the state, right here from Benjamin Russell. And then you got, like I just said, Marquez Daniel that's here this weekend, but you also got Jace Matthews from Mississippi, Greene County, Mississippi. Another 6'2", 185-pound guy that that Marcus Davis has made a priority, a 4-star guy, a high 4-star guy. So, another couple of big-time receivers that Auburn's targeting this weekend. And then overall in this class would like to add 2 or 3 more to this receiver room in this class.
It's amazing how things turn around, isn't it? Just 2 or 3 years ago, we were talking about why can't we, look at this receiver room. We can't, we got to get some receivers, because obviously the offense is never going to work. Now we got receivers coming out of our ears. You got to get, if nothing else, you got to give Hugh Freeze a lot of credit for, really flipping the roster and bringing.
He has done that.
Talent.
Yeah, he has done that, Andy.
Yeah,
100%. He, again, I think when you look at the roster, Auburn's got a roster that can compete. And can compete toward the top of this league. And I think he's right. I don't think he's making excuses, but I think he's like, one more solid recruiting class, and we feel like we'll have this roster with where we want it to be with anybody in the country. And I think he's right, especially if you can keep people. You don't lose people on the back end through the transfer portal. But you got to win some games at some point to make sure that doesn't happen. If you don't win games this year, you're probably going to have a boatload of guys leave, and you're probably going to struggle to sign some of these that you've had committed, and some of the ones that are on the fence right now. It's not beyond the realm of possibility that you see somebody commit here in July to another team, but Auburn have a good season, and flip toward the end. Auburn's notorious for doing that, Andy. And, also you got to kind of watch how this thing all plays out, with kids now. And do you want to put a full court press on at the end with money and NIL, or do you want to go ahead and shoot your shot right now here in July and hope you hang on to them throughout? So it's a cat and mouse game too on the recruiting trail, and how aggressive you want to be right now versus how much pressure you want to put on it. Maybe just continuing to maintain that relationship and being involved, but not really throwing a boatload of money at somebody right now, trying to get them to commit.
Yeah, I mean, we're at the point now where there's talk about, the word was last week, the talk was, kids are getting paid, $20,000 a month just to commit and stay.
Yeah, Kirby said that.
Kirby said that, so
and then Lane Kiffin pretty much said he's the one paying everybody.
Yeah, I mean, what's true and what's not true, and who is that what it takes to get somebody to commit? I mean, do you just get them to say they committed?
And then what do you hold them to? You ain't got anything to hold them to, though. If you give them the money, they got it.
Yeah, so who knows? And how is this going to be affected by the legislation that going to be enacted July 1st? Is that going to change?
It's not going to change a booster paying somebody under the table, though. It's not going to change. It's drifted down to high school now. I mean, we know for a fact the Pritchett kid from Thompson was tried to be enticed away from Thompson High School to go play for a school in Georgia. We pretty much know who the school is. They never released it, but we have a good idea on who it was. I mean, that's going on. And, is that being fed by companies like Nike and Under Armour that have a vested interest with a particular player in the college, and the college goes, we need this guy, and he's at this school, and if we can get him at this school, because the high school ain't paying them, or the college ain't paying them all that money to stay at that high school, but they could use the money from a company like Nike that's a Nike school to say, hey, you want to keep him? We want you over here. They could definitely funnel it through like that, and don't think it's probably not happening.
Yeah. Well, I think we probably, the more the less, the less I like finding, the less I like college athletics and stuff. So probably the less I know, the better.
100%. One more guy before we go to break. Xavier Tiller, probably the top tight end prospect on Auburn's board from Fairburn, Georgia, 6'4", 215 pounds. Another one of those hybrid. I mean, that's like a receiver now. Yeah. I mean, you look at Cedarian Morgan, 6'5", 215, 220. I mean, Xavier Tiller's 6'4", 215. I mean, they got him at a tight end. So you got guys that can play multiple positions, be versatile. Cedarian Morgan's going to cause matchup problems for whoever he plays against. Looking forward to covering him this year, Benjamin Russell, and, of course, B.J. Bedgood. Those two guys lined up in the same receiver, and being in the same receiver room is going to be something special to watch. And then Kingston Preyer throwing the football to him is going to be a show. I'm just telling everybody, you better get your popcorn for Benjamin Russell this year. It's going to be Kingston Preyer is one of the top quarterback prospects in the state in the 28 class. So here you go. He's already been to several Elite 11s and stuff, and he's been ranked high, and he doesn't look like a freshman. I can tell you that.
Right.
6'3", 200 pounds. Doesn't look like a freshman. And he don't throw the ball like a freshman. And ain't many freshmen that have a state championship under their belt already, too. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun year, I think, if we can get some protection up front. It should be fun offensively. All right, up against the final break of the show. Stay tuned. One final segment right after this.
If you're tired of the same old, and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
At Russell Medical, we're proud of our exceptional nurses, like Nurse Brandy Worthy. Brandy represents the selfless, compassionate clinical leader patients expect and coworkers admire. Brandy was recently honored with the Nightingale Award for Nursing Excellence for her high standards, sound judgment, and caring manner. Her passion for her profession inspires us all.
Being a nurse is not just what you do, it's who you are. I'm proud to be a part of the nursing team at Russell Medical. We are the link between all hospital services, providing you with exceptional, personalized care.
Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need with top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindaiwa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that can tame any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill, and our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
Main Street Family Urgent Care.
Main Street Family Care offers a wide array of services that allows them to treat many conditions, and they also offer primary care. In addition to these services, they also offer DOT physical exams, lab testing, sports physicals, and vaccines. They accept most major insurance plans, including Medicaid. Main Street Family Care opens 7 days a week.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Welcome back, everyone. Final segment here on the Saturday Sports Countdown. Again, thanks to JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Andy, two longtime partners of ours here on the show. We couldn't do it without them.
Love them. Yeah, absolutely. Been with us forever, and just quality people and quality organizations.
Yeah, I can't say enough about them. Been with us since basically day one. So we're glad to be associated with them, and they're glad that, we're glad that they want to be associated with us. So really, really appreciate them. All right, here on a short segment, got to get out here at 8:57. But Andy, just kind of closing thoughts here. Auburn baseball in action today at 2:00, playing for their World Series life. Got to win today or the season's over.
Yeah, it comes down to this. Can you force a game 3? You put yourself in a hole here, so you got to fight your way out. But Auburn's been really, really good at home all year. They are a very good baseball team, top to bottom. Got a lot of veteran presence, so you're going up against a really good pitcher. But you got to have a good plan, got to have a good, be patient at the plate, let the game, slow down a little bit. If you go up there and get in a hurry, then you find yourself in another hole, and then it just you're playing from you're the away team in your own stadium today. So, hey,
got to find a way to get it done.
Everything's on the line.
Jacob Morrison more than likely going to be towing the rubber for Coastal Carolina, 11-0 on the season, a 1.90 ERA going into regional play. I think it went up to a little over 2 after regional play. But Coastal swept through that regional, and here they are with one win away from a return trip to Omaha. This coach is his first year at Coastal, so he's already got 52 wins. They're 52-11 on the season, but again, if Auburn can win the next 2 games, they'll tie the school record for most home wins in a season at 30. So Auburn really has accomplished a ton this year in baseball, a team that was predicted to finish 12th in the preseason in the conference. It's sitting here really toting the banner along with Arkansas and Tennessee and LSU as the teams that are left standing here with a chance to go to Omaha. You don't get this opportunity every year, Andy, and you dang sure don't get an opportunity to host a super regional. It's the first time in school history. Would love to see Auburn rally today and get a win, tie this series up, and force a winner-take-all on Sunday, man.
That would be great. Still don't know, like that. Don't know who we're going to throw out there, but whoever it is, it's all hands on deck. And hey, I mean, there again, we didn't mention it, but give Carson Myers a lot of credit.
Yes,
that's twice now he has come in a tough situation and just been outstanding. Transfer from UAB a couple of years ago. He's been a very important piece as a starter and out of the bullpen for the team. One of those veteran guys that you're going to throw out there. But
let me get out for TV, Andy, and we'll continue this discussion. That's going to wrap it up for us here on the Saturday Sports Countdown. Again, want to thank everybody for joining us each and every Saturday. We'll be back with you same time, same place next Saturday. For Andy, I'm Brett saying we've enjoyed it. We hope you have. See you next time.
If you listen carefully, you'll hear the roads of Alabama calling. And Sarah Honda has your answer. Serving you for over 40 years with one of the largest Honda and pre-owned inventories in the state and the Sarah Promise. Our best deal when you buy or trade, a 72-hour exchange policy, a no-hassle trade-in promise. Written offers are good for 7 days. And our best service promise. Our factory-certified technicians help keep your vehicle running smoothly. That's why Alabama can be yours to discover in a new vehicle from Sarah Honda in Sylacauga.
Bucks Island is your boating headquarters. Are you ready to hit the water and go boating this summer? Bucks Island has all kinds of boats, with one sure to fit exactly what you want. Fishing boats, sport boats, pontoon boats, and all with low monthly payments. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Bucks Island Service Department experts are also here for you to keep your boat in top running condition. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Don't be left standing on the bank this summer. Visit online at bucksisland.com and don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote. Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision-making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.
Ivy Creek Healthcare is excited to showcase their newest clinic, Ivy Creek Family Care of Lake Martin, located conveniently near the main entrance to Stillwater's on Highway 49 South in Dadeville. Ivy Creek Family Care of Lake Martin is an urgent care with walk-ins welcome. Whether you need lab work, x-rays, or immediate care, find comfort here at Ivy Creek Family Care of Lake Martin. Ivy Creek, here when you need us most. 256-827-5379.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
If you listen carefully, you'll hear the roads of Alabama calling. And Sarah Honda has your answer.